G'day fellas. So in the previous video we looked at firing an airgun pellet from a Centrefire rifle in 5 different calibers using just the shotgun primer as the propellant, with the two most promising being the 22 and the 25. So what the results showed was the 222 delivered nearly 20 foot-pounds of energy and the 2506 was delivering about 15. In this video I'm going to go hunting with the 2506. And that's mainly to do with the rifle, not so much the calibre and the rifle setup. So what you'll need to take into the field is enough modified cases to fill the magazine, a box of 25 calibre pellets, and a box of shotgun primers. And for the sighting setup, because the pellets are going to have a wildly different point of impact than the Centrefire rifle, you may want to mount a different sight on top of the other one. This one sits too high, but something like a Aimpoint H1 with a low mount, or even just a quick detachable ring with a small pistol scope in it. The other option is to use some see-through scope rings and use the open sights for the airgun pellets scope for the Centrefire. But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to mount the camera on top of the scope, which means I'm going to have to resight this scope in. Which also means I'm going to have quite a lot of parallax error up this close because this scope's designed for long ranges. So I'll have to be careful to keep my eye in the same position every time. So what I've done is set up a bit of a feed station just with bread next to the chook house, which is where the pest birds tend to come in. And I've set the camera up over that to see what's coming around. So this is a magpie. And these are starlings. That's a noisy miner. And that's an Indian miner. So of the 4 species caught on camera, the starlings are quite common around here and the biggest pest, but they're also very wary. They're hard to get close to, unlike in the city where they'll just come up and eat food you drop on the ground. So the starling's fair game and can be shot anywhere in Australia, I believe, where you can discharge a firearm anyway. Now the Indian miner is an interesting one because we don't really get them around here. In fact, I've only seen these 2 pair coming around recently, even though they're a big pest in the city and very common. In fact, I've never shot one before, and that's what inspired me to make this video. So the aim of this video is going to be to get that bird. The other 2 species, the magpie and the noisy miner, are native and protected. So what I've done is set up a bit of a hide overlooking that feed, and hopefully I can lure them back in with that bread. So now we just sit and wait. And it wasn't too long before a flock of starlings come and landed in the tree. And when one presented a shot, I took it. Taking the starling. Now it took an hour or more before another flock come in, where one of them presented itself by landing on the tin in front of me, which offered a good shot. So in slow motion you can actually see the pellet pass straight through the starling and continue out the other side with little deflection. So that 15 foot-pound of energy from this 25 calibre pellet is more than capable of killing these smaller pest bird species. Reloading the cartridges in the field is easy. Just use a nail to knock the old primer out, push in a new one and add a pellet and you're ready to go again. Anyway, another day, another hour or 2 waiting, and a lone sparrow turned up at the bread. And unfortunately for him, he's another pest bird species. So I took the shot. And what's interesting is, it seems to have been spooked by the shot and ducked down into the pellet, which actually hit him in the head. So his quick reflexes didn't pay off that time. So after a number of days, I still hadn't gotten sight of that Indian miner that the trail cam had picked up. So I'd nearly given up on that. But then looking back over the footage, I noticed his voice had actually been captured in one of the videos. So what I was able to do was transfer that voice over onto the Fox Pro Predator call, with the aim of trying to use his own voice against him. So I could control the call from back in the stand, yet call him into where he'd been previously. I also added a red blanket because I was getting a lot of glare off that board with the angle that it was on. And by some miracle, not only did that call seem to throw all the Starlings off guard, the Indian miner did turn up. I did spook him slightly while I was getting the shot ready, but he perched back up on the tin where I took the shot. Striking him in the left breast for my first Indian miner. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, or maybe even learnt something from it. Remember to click thumbs up, I always appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in the next video.